Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. In today's dinner series, I'm going to show you how to put together a delicious restaurant-style North Indian meal. Very simple. It's going to be a paneer butter masala, that's right, along with jeera rice and some kulcha. And you could also optionally serve it along with some salad like lacha pyaz or sliced tomatoes and cucumber. This recipe is super simple. All I'm going to do is to show you how to put together really simple ingredients for the paneer butter masala and what are the secret and key ingredients that heightens the flavor of the dish and brings it the restaurant style. Some of those tips and tricks here, right here in this video. And a jeera rice, the real trick to get that delicious freshness from a jeera rice and how you get that. So without wasting any time, let me just dive right in and show you how to make this dish. So I'm going to be making the jeera rice in the pressure cooker. I've already washed the 𝗔𝗠𝗔𝗭 rice. I'm going to be using the 𝗔𝗠𝗔𝗭 rice. Like I told you, you can use either 𝗔𝗠𝗔𝗭 or 𝗔𝗠𝗔𝗭. Any of the small grain rices work so much better. And cooking in the pressure cooker helps retain those starches that are nice, that makes the rice nice and soft and fluffy as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add ghee into my pressure cooker. To this, I'm going to add in some green chilies. Just give it a light stir. I've just slit the green chilies up, so it just releases those subtle chilliness, the spice into the jeera rice. And I'm going to add in whole cardamom, about 3-4 of them, and a couple of cloves, right, into it. So when you add the whole spices, the spices as they're cooking will keep releasing the flavors, and I like it. It doesn't make it too strong, but just the right amount. Now at this stage, I'm just going to go ahead and add in my washed rice and some salt to taste. And now the water. So when you're pressure cooking, what you need to do is to add a little bit less water than you usually do when you're pan cooking. And the amount of water also depends upon the age of the rice, how old it is. Older the rice, they require a little bit extra water. But my general rule of thumb for making a pulao is 1 cup of rice to 1 3/4 cup of water, sometimes 2 cups. Just going to give it a stir. Now I'm going to pressure cook it for about 2 whistles, and after that turn the heat to low and simmer it for about 4 minutes and turn off the heat. And after you turn off the heat, allow the pressure to release naturally. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes. And after that, we will allow it to cool for another 5 minutes. And then we'll fluff up our pulao with a fork or gently toss it along with a ladle. And then do the tadka of jeera, which makes it a jeera pulao. So now the pressure is released and it is rested for a couple of minutes. Ideally, I would like it to rest for another 5 minutes or 10 minutes till the pressure is released. Okay, so that's important for the rice to settle down and fluff up. Wow, this looks just about perfect. The rice is nice and fluffy. Notice that. It should just fall off when you sort of give it a light turn. When it is hot, you need to be careful and gentle, so it just falls off beautifully. So right now, I'm not going to stir it too much. What I'm going to do now is to first make the jeera tadka, which is going to go over this rice, which make it nice and crispy, and on medium heat, we'll just roast the cumin seeds, that is jeera, and then add it to this, and our jeera pulao will be ready. Into my pan, preheated pan always, add in the ghee. We'll add in the jeera seeds. Roast the jeera till you start smelling the aromas, and you will notice that the jeera would have become crisp and it'll start crackling and popping up. And that's when you know the cumin seeds are ready. Don't allow it to darken too much, okay? You just need to start smelling the aromas coming through and then the jeera seeds popping up. They get roasted very quickly. Wonderful. So now I'm just going to go ahead, pour this over my rice that I cooked earlier and make it the jeera rice. Give it a taste if you like, if you see if the salt is just enough. But you know, it's a rice. You're not going to be eating this plain. You're going to be having it along with a curry. So even if the salt is just a little less, that's absolutely fine. The first steps to make the paneer butter masala is to make the puree and prep all the ingredients and keep ready. So into my blender jar, I'm just going to add in the chopped tomatoes. And I have soaked in the cashew nuts and kept over here. I'm just going to go ahead and add the cashew nuts. And now I'm going to just go ahead and blend this entire mixture into a smooth puree. So that's it. Our puree is done. And ensure that the cashew nuts that you have used were soaked in hot water. So that fastens the soaking process. Otherwise, you soak it for a couple of hours. By putting it in hot water, it just soaks in about 15 minutes. And to make the masala, if you have an iron kadai at home, go ahead and use that. Because cooking in an iron kadai brings in a different flavor as well to the dish. But I'm going to be using a hard anodized pan. and just going to go ahead and melt some butter. So once the butter melts, I'm going to add in the jeera seeds, which is the cumin seeds. Give it a light stir. So I have some onions that I've chopped and kept, and some garlic and ginger and green chilies. I like to chop and use them because it just makes life simple. Because when you make paste of this masala, what I've noticed is that there is always a slight raw smell that remains. So if you don't like the onion and ginger garlic bite in your paneer butter masala, then go ahead and puree this onion, ginger garlic after you have fried it. So then it brings out a great taste. So we're just going to saute this until it becomes nice and soft. Do it on medium heat. You don't want the onions to become brown. You don't want the garlic and ginger to burn, right? So it's important because these are finely chopped. This looks just about right. I see the onion color has changed. It has softened. The raw smell has gone away and the onions have started sweating. And this is just perfect. At this stage, I'm going to add in all my masalas, which is again, the simple basic ingredients that are available in every pantry. The turmeric powder, just a pinch. And we have added green chilies, but adding Kashmiri red chili powder brings in a good taste. So we add in that. And I have jeera powder here with me. The jeera powder is just a little bit again, but the coriander powder is a lot more. Okay. And then I'll add just a little bit of garam masala to compensate for the remaining spices. But that one spice that I like to add as a whole is my elaichi powder. By the way, this elaichi powder is homemade. It's not very easy to make and you must make this at home. What I do is to roast the whole elaichis a little bit in dry heat, not in oil, dry heat. And once it gets roasted, just blend it to make a powder along with the skin. There is no need to remove the skin. This way, I found that I don't waste the skin. I save time in not sitting and peeling all the elaichi seeds from inside. There's so much of time that goes in that. So now I'm just going to give this a stir. And I have some sugar here, adds to the sweetness. And then the puree that we did a little while ago. It's a little thick because of the cashew nuts that we added. And now that looks nice and thick. I'm going to go ahead and add in the salt and then finally the cream. As I said, I'm just adding all the ingredients and not minusing anything for this recipe. But if you don't want to do the cashew nuts, skip the cashew nuts. If you want to just do the cashew nuts and skip the cream, skip the cream. And now I'm going to add the paneer and finally the kasuri methi. These are dried methi leaves, fenugreek leaves. Just add them in. Comes in so handy to all the gravies, brings in and heightens the flavor of the dishes. This is just perfect. Now what you are going to do now is to give it a taste, because you want to ensure that the chili and the little bit of sweetness as well as the salt are all good. Oftentimes, because I keep cooking so often, I don't need to taste, but it's always a good idea to taste. The reason why you taste it while before it simmers is so that you add in just the right amount of salt and they all get into the masala as well as the paneer and everything. It just absorbs it so well. Oh, I don't need to add anything else. So now the most important thing is we added raw tomatoes. This needs to simmer for a good 15 minutes. And after that, we will be adding a tablespoon of ghee on the top to give it that final finish and give it that restaurant style taste. So I'm just going to wait for it to simmer and keep boiling. I'm going to cover the pan and simmer for about 15 minutes. Beautiful. I can smell the flavors and aromas coming through already. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You know, as it simmers, the whole house just fills in with the flavors of this spices that we added. You know, but one last thing, and the most important ingredient that is important in the last couple of minutes of simmering process is to add that little bit of ghee on the top and then simmer it for another 5 minutes and you will see how beautiful the dish tastes. That's it. This is done. I can smell the flavors of ghee right now. Brilliant. Outstanding. Did you notice one thing that I did? I don't fry my paneer. The reason is the paneer needs to be soft and silky. The moment you fry the paneer, it sometimes becomes more firm. So I like to add the whole fresh paneer into it. So because as you simmer it, it'll absorb the masala and then it retain that softness. So that's another tip for you. That's it. Can't wait to serve it. So do give this entire meal a try, and when you do, don't forget to share your feedback in the comments below because I'll always be looking to hear back from you. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because You will find many such recipes week on week getting published just for you to make cooking easy in your kitchen. From various different cuisines across India as well as the world, you will find many different recipes on my YouTube channel as well as my website. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.